Hello, my ladies and pretty gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Look What is Happening in the Spiritual Realm with yours truly, Light. Today I've got one of those very dense messages that is specifically targeted towards those of you who have related with some of the most unsavory messages that I have put out on this channel. As you can see by the title, today I am going to be discussing something very fundamental that has been shifting in the collective. And this started a very long time ago for a lot of you. And I've called it the backlash of unauthorized offering. Before I get started, this is one thing that Spirit wants to enunciate. To those of you who feel this message to your core, I am not a character. I am depth. And anyone who chooses to see me, to be seen as me, must first face that depth. This is going to be the undertone of this message today, because what I'm hearing is a complete breakdown that has been taking place, but this breakdown is quite specific because Spirit made it known to me. This is how a lot of these cults, a lot of these energetic vampires have managed to operate in the shadows for a very long time. This backlash is three-pronged, and it started off first by a false offering. This is someone who thought they knew you. When they gave you over, they thought they knew you. They thought that they could minimize you and categorize you. They, for their own sake, for their own pride, their own arrogance, did not want to see you as the earth angel that their spirit genuinely resonated as. So when they felt like you were overcoming them, passing them through, so to speak, this is someone who foresaw the connection with you as going nowhere because it started on faulty and false foundation. It started off with them competing themselves to you, hoping that they could wedge themselves into your frequency, into your light, and live festering, live as an unclean spirit. But as time went on, this is someone who began to see that your growth was not something that they can contain or keep up with. So they wanted to set up a fail-safe, so to speak. And for some of you, this could even be intertwined with a bitterness about them that they couldn't resolve within themselves, within their own shadow. So they decided to give you over as an offering in order to feel powerful secretly behind your back. This person, understand this, the cult or the organization that this energy decided to give you over to, they didn't get the full information about you. They got all the information that this energy gave them. But more importantly than that is that these people, the entities that they work with, do not function based on the agreements of humans. All they care for, the only thing that they're there for, is to feed. And if they are offered something, they're going to go after it and feed, regardless of what the circumstances are. So it doesn't matter in some instances that you didn't consent to this, because this person gave you over. But this is what happened. Since the offering, the foundation of what this person tried to do with you was false, because it was rooted in a false identity of yours, this is an energy that is now being refocused or retargeted by the same cult that has told them whatever it is that they have offered to these beings, these entities that they have made biddings with in order to gain the world and lose their soul, they have gone rogue. And they've been after the earth angels, those of you who were given away by those lovers, the closest people to you. They're gone after. They've gone rogue, and they've just kind of made their own path because they have not been able to feed on your energy the way that they were promised, these entities. And they don't abide by anyone's rule. The only thing that has kept them in cahoots with these cults, with these energies, is the feeding, is the fact that they were given rations, portions of the collective light, of the hive mind light. So this is what I'm getting. The three-prong breakdown is as such. It first starts with the collateral souls. Now, this person, when they lost access to you, and they were successfully siphoning your energy through what I've called in this channel proxies. These proxies do not know you, and this is why they're called proxies. They get a false image of you. And in some ways, I mentioned this before, they reflect back to you an image of yourself that isn't true. And they harness or take that corrupted vision of yours that comes from confusion, disorientation. That corrupted light is what they feed on, and they siphon and they sort of give the portion to those that have promised them whatever that they've promised them for playing with your mind, for being a proxy or a proximity tool towards you. So that means this energy, this person that has gone so far off the rails with you, and all these energies that are mounted on top of them, right? The only energy that they're able to feed off of you is the corrupted light. Meaning, this person has been instructed by their false authority, by either their cult leader, their parent, whoever has initiated them. They have been told that they should not be in contact with you directly, meaning they shouldn't try to directly mirror you or step into your frequency, because they will not be able to metabolize the pure frequency of your light. Because a lot of you have went through so many deaths and rebirths. You've went through so many frequential changes that you've had to adjust for years, that your body had to go through so many fastings, so many breakdowns and restructuring, death and rebirth. It took you so much work to be in the energy that you are in. But this person is prideful. Not only that, but they are in disarray. Because for a lot of you, what I've called the collector in the blog, one of the proxies, the one that was supposed to maintain access to you and corrupt your light, or basically keep you in a loop reality where you are being siphoned from or drawn from energetically, sexually, that person has went through a complete breakdown. Whatever entity that was using them as a buffer in order to feed off of you has returned to them. And so whoever made that false offering you, whoever offered you over under false pretenses, is now looking at that main collector, that main proxy that was supposed to be the buffer, and they're terrified. Because whatever has happened to this person is irreversible. This is someone that isn't sleeping anymore. They're muttering that they're haunted, that they're sick. They have no energy left. Whatever that they were doing with you, whatever entity that they had attached in their name to you, is now feeding on them. And this energy that has been propping the cult has gone completely berserk because it cannot reach you. It cannot touch you. And you were promised to it. You were basically directed to it. And again, they don't function by human law. That is what you have to understand. They only function based on access, feeding, and worship. Whatever that is. Worship is usually food for them, energetic food. But you have closed off your gates, sealed off your gates. And when that happens, I'm going to go to prong 2. Before I go to the main section of this conversation of the person who tried to step into your body and mirror you as a last-ditch effort, the same person that sold you over under false pretenses. Before we get to that last bit, I'm going to break down these 3 prongs that I mentioned. The first prong is the collateral proxies, meaning this entity has now jumped into all types of people in order to get you. These are people who are not ready for the breakdown. They're not ready for the aftermath. And it was supposed to reintegrate your light into that system, that corrupted system that you have left. Meaning, these proxies, they're not quite operating from the timeline of the cult that was able to give them any benefit for whatever crimes that they're trying to commit against you. Meaning, they're not being told head front, those who are being actually approached, they're not being told that they're merely henchmen for a collapse. They're literally a stallers for a collapse. Instead, they're being told that you need help, that you need assistance, that you are going through a withdrawal from them, that you're needing help with your shadow work, and they're just making sure that you're safe, that you're not, in your wherewithal, that you're delusional, that you are starting to see things and they need to be gentle with you and make sure that they reflect the real reality back to you. That's what they're being told, these proxies. They're being told that you're not well and they need to be gentle with you, or else a greater hand is going to come collect you or take care of you. So they're not being told the truth, that the truth is the cult is breaking down. And because you were a false offering from the get-go and you weren't properly initiated, what is actually happening, what they're trying to protect, is you finding out the truth without the barrier that they have set up for their regular cult members. Meaning, if you speak, you die. You don't have that because you were never initiated. You were stolen. You were taken and placed on an altar by somebody who egoically believed that you weren't an earth angel, who egoically believed that you would never be able to see it for what it is. And the rest of them kind of went with it, because up until now, it actually works. Up until now, they've been able to do these corrupt dealings. But it stops with you. It stops with a lot of you at this time. This is not the time to do this. But this energy, the karmic debt that's being racked up by this cult because of you, has gone completely off the charts. So their fear is that, like I said, you are going to find out the truth about them because of proximity. When energies try to channel into you and take from you, the channel opens both ways. Meaning, not only are they accessing you, you begin to access them. And when you wake up and reclaim your original frequency, like we've been talking about in the past videos, what happens is that they go through spiritual blindness, which is what's happening now. And we're going to get to the point where this person was warned not to access your energy directly without proxies. And if the proxies are failing and they're not accessing you, this person, these energies cannot get your corrupted light to help them function or feed this entity, keep it at bay, and still maintain whatever rewards that it's been giving them. Do you understand? Are you keeping up? This energy, I need to pause here. So those who are approaching you now, those who are approaching you under false pretenses, they're all trying to take the place of the collector or the main proxy. For some of you, you thought this person was a twin flame, a soulmate. And they placed them in your path to siphon from your sacral, from your energetic portals that was falsely attached to a person, an image of a fraudulent image of a person who had actually made a different deal without your knowledge. A lot of these proxies are not trying to fit this person's position anymore because this person has gone down the tube. They're only trying to protect the cult by making you believe that you're not seeing what you're actually seeing. Because a lot of you, those who are receiving this message, it is merely a confirmation for you. So what I've heard is this energy that is now being looked at by the cult, they are feeling like this energy, they need to remove themselves from you because they've made a false offering that is now costing the cult not only karmic debt, because they're involving proxies, people, regular people that aren't being told the truth, that they're actually there as a collateral. They're there as a buffer before the energy mutates and this entity turns on the cult itself. They're there as buffers. Because what is happening with these proxies is once they deal with you, their light is being completely sucked out of them. Because they can't handle whatever this entity is. This is a rogue, primordial being that they have invoked in your name. And all it cares about is getting to you. And it can't get to you because it is bound by cosmic law to not get to you because the offering was false. So this person who made this false offering is now out for themselves. They don't give a fuck about the cult. They don't give a fuck about the person, the father, the mother, the leader, or the false leader. They don't care about that person anymore because that false leader warned them, do not, under any circumstances, approach you, lover, the earth angel, directly. Do not approach them directly. Do not step into their frequency. Do not try to mirror them directly without buffers to corrupt the light so that it can be digestible for your spiritual system. They, because this is a person that knew you personally, that you may even have married, have children with, that you may have had a long friendship with, a long business with. For some of you, this is even a family member. This person arrogantly said, well, no, the collective may not have done that much work. Like, how much work could they have possibly done? How much damage can their light actually do to me? But this person stepped into a microwave. They literally stepped into your frequency, tried to echo possess your body. And this is a last-ditch attempt. Understand this. They tried to step into your body because everything is falling apart around them. Everything. The collector is gone. The false leader has packed up their bag because they've been found out and they've been seen. A lot of you, you're close to seeing them if you haven't already seen them. The proxies are just collateral that is racking up the cult with karmic debt that they cannot make up for. So now this person is out for themselves because they believe if they step into your frequency that they will be protected from the cult, they will be protected from the primordial source, God, that they will be protected from all of that is happening to them. At this point, it's not about them gaining the world. It's not about them being seen in your image anymore. It's about them surviving themselves. So they were warned by the leader, by those who know the law of energy, that stepping into you raw, unfiltered through proxies would literally split them mentally. It would be like MK Ultra. It would be like stepping into the sun, right? It would be like looking at God as an unclean spirit, quite literally. But their arrogance and pride got the best of them, and they stepped into you anyway. They tried to step into your frequency anyway. And this is a cosmic treason. Just so you know, this kind of behavior is cosmic treason. But what happened to this person is the same thing that happened to Smith in the Matrix when Smith walked into the oracle, when Smith consumed the oracle. This is exactly the same thing that happened, believing it would give him power. Instead, it became its destruction. It became its last fundamental destruction. So for some of you, if you felt like someone was moving in your body, trying to see through your eyes, the same energy that you've been detaching yourself from, severing contracts from, then this is a sign that this is a person who tried to echo possess you. This is someone who tried to reinsert their past version because they're being cleaned out. Their personality, who they are, is being emptied out because of the lack of source that they're connected to. These are the same energies that have been exiled from their ancestors. They've been exiled from whatever cult that they have hid themselves in. So the last resort is to literally step into your body, into your orbit, in order to hide and protect themselves under the guise that you will still remember a past version of them that does not exist. That you can't possibly have seen all the truth about them. But this is how spiritual blindness works. So when they stepped into you using mirror magic, whatever it is that they got going on, they combusted, meaning they saw themselves for everything that they are. They didn't just get the glamour version of themselves like they've been able to by harnessing the corrupted version of your light from those that they have tried to latch onto you. They just faced the raw ordeal of everything that they are, everything that they've ever done, everything that they've glamored themselves into not seeing has been revealed to them. So this person, if they did this, they're likely going through a mental breakdown, a psychotic breakdown, an illness of some sort that is going to be absolutely fucking crippling, or blindness. I heard muteness, something crazy. Because what they try to do was wear you like a character. We've come full circle. You are not a character. This is their spiritual blindness and their pride yelling at the top of the mountain that they can mimic you directly without actually embodying the darkness that your light came from. But when they stepped in, they didn't step into the timeline that they thought they were going to hide themselves in right now. They stepped into the bottom rung of the ladder of the work that you started. And for them, It's a compression issue. I hope I'm making energetic sense here because I'm trying to describe a very dense topic. For them, it becomes an energetic compression because their intention was that they will literally step into your current timeline, not understanding that they have not even done the first bit of work in order to see themselves for who they are. And they've actually lived in a lie, lived in shadows of themselves, disguised in your light for years. For some of you, for years they've done this. And the fact that they thought they could just embody that light without actually facing its darkness, its abyss, that is this person's undoing. That was Smith's undoing. This energy is now facing themselves in a way that for some of you, they're not going to make it out. They're not going to make it out. It's not just karma. This is justice. That's the word. This is justice. This is the work. And the false leader, right? Because this is the protege of the cult. This is the protege of the wannabe cult leader, the false shadow elder that wanted to embody your light, using this person as a glove to do it. But they weren't aware of it. Now, this person sees themselves through your eyes. They see themselves in the truth of who they are. And whatever mask that they were able to wear, whatever character that they were trying to play as you out there with people, they're not going to believe it anymore. You see, you have to believe your own lie first before you lie to other people. But what happened to them trying to step into you as a mirror, trying to protect themselves from the karma that is befalling everyone around them, is that they've sped it up for themselves. Now they can't even do it. They can't even step outside and meet the next person, talk to the next person, and believe that character because they stepped into the light. And all they can see about themselves is darkness. All they can feel about themselves is everything that they have done. They have sacrificed the most sacred things. They're starting right there. And that is the ultimate justice. It's not big clanking pots and pans. It's not trumpets. It's them stepping into the work that they thought that they could act out of, that they can false ascension their way into. No. You have become their undoing. Not just for the cult that they have tried to hide in, the cult that has for so long benefited off of the likes of you who are never able to overcome it. You see, that is why initiation for them is important. Because you're not, just random people aren't going to know the truth without consequences being dulled out for them for speaking it. But you are not under the same laws that they are in. Because you were never initiated. You were sold. Remember that. I'm going to leave it here. 23 minutes. As usual, I don't reach out. Those are scammers. Everything you need to know is in the description box down below. My shop is now officially online for collections. These are going to be inspirational quotes, and soon I'm going to be pulling out from my book, Sad Girl, some of the more intimate quotes if you want to wear them as a sweater, and just say the things that aren't fake. You know what I mean? I don't want the sweaters to be like, oh, sip coffee and be cool. No. It's going to be like, say no to false righteousness. So check it out. It's down below. My readings are closed until the end of May due to all these downloads that I've been trying to condense into digestible messages for you. Until next time, everyone. I love you guys.